welcome to another Leipzig Community TV video. This is episode 15 and it's August. It's very busy in Westport, very busy in the shop. We've had lots of new books in and lots of authors in. And today we've got a couple of those authors. We've got Grace Kelly from Paper Lanterns, who will be up in a second.
So a new journal.
New volume 2 of the journal. We've got Adrian Duncan, who's talking to us online from Germany. This is his 2 books. We'll get onto those in a while. And we've also got Diarmuid Ferriter, who came into the shop on a very rainy day, author of The Border and On the Edge. So first off, I think we'll go to Paper Lanterns, to Grace Kelly. 3 of her friends, herself and 3 friends, set up this journal. 2 friends, 3 altogether. Paper Lanterns Volume 2. It's absolutely gorgeous, and we've sold quite a few of them already, actually. So over to Grace, who's going to tell us a bit about the journal. Hi Grace, welcome to Tertulia.
Thank you.
Grace is here with us today. Grace came on our Tertulia TV a few weeks ago to talk about Paper Lanterns, her new teen and young adult literary journal. So today, maybe just, well, I know you've got episode 2, volume 2 coming out.
Yeah.
So what's ahead in the next volume then for us?
Gosh, okay, so issue 2, hopefully we're launching sometime next week, end of July. We have an interview with Helen Corcoran, who has just launched Queen of Coin and Whispers.
Oh yes, we've had that in the shop, very popular so far.
Yes, we're very excited about that, and her book is also going to be our next teen NY book club choice, one of them. Flying Tips for Flightless Birds will be our other book club choice.
Oh, yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
We've got loads more poems and short stories. Amazing features. We have a lovely feature about Jane Austen's books, which will be really lovely to bring in the classical elements as well. And loads of reviews. Loads of good book reviews.
Sounds great. So, second question. So, just to tell us why you decided to do this. I know there's you and a number of your friends have done it.
That's right.
What your inspiration was?
Yeah, so Ruth Ennis and Amy O'Sullivan, 2 friends from the Masters that we did last year. We love children's books. We love YA. And 2 of it, Ruth and myself, write, and then Amy works in publishing as well. And while we figured we love reading literary journals, and there are a lot in Ireland, we kind of felt like it would be lovely to have one that's for a young readership, but also there are so many young writers in Ireland who might not necessarily have an outlet to submit their work. So we felt, why not create one for them? So we try and have a 50-50 split between writers who are under 18 and over 18.
And so far so good.
So far so good. Issue 2 coming out. It's still the pandemic.
I know. We look forward to it though. Thank you, Grace. Thank you. So nice to see you in the shop on a lovely sunny summer's day. So this week, Neil, what have you been reading, or what are you planning to read?
Well, I'm halfway through Leviathan Wakes. It was part of our sci-fi club choice for the month, and it's absolutely brilliant, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm really getting into it. So that's just
modern science fiction.
Modern science fiction, yes, excellent. And I'm planning on reading Faith Hogan, who's going to be coming in to see us fairly soon. And this is on my next book on the list. So
and it has been our book of the month.
Has been our book of the month.
Faith lives in Ballina, and she's going to be into us later.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about her book to her later on. Great.
So I think we're going to go over to
Adrian Duncan.
Okay, so Adrian has 2 books. Love Notes from a German building site, an Irish guy living in Germany. It's got lots of fantastic reviews, and his latest book, Sabbatical in Leipzig, is just out. Well, we only just got it in. I think it's just out.
Just came out yesterday.
So over to Adrian, who's going to tell us all about his inspiration and his 2 books.
Hello, my name's Adrian Duncan. I'm an Irish writer. I've been invited very kindly by Tertulia Books to take part in their YouTube channel. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my most recent book, Sabbatical in Leipzig. It was published this year, this March, by Lilliput Press. It's my second book. My first book was called Love Notes from a German Building Site. That came out last year in 2019. I was published by Lilliput Press in March, and then it was published by Head of Service in the UK in September. The book won the John McGahern Book Prize earlier on this year, and it was shortlisted for the Dalkey Emerging Writers Award earlier on this year also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little, just very, very briefly about this book, Sabbatical in Leipzig. I'm going to read maybe a couple of pages, and then that'll be it. It's a very brief, very short hello, really. Sabbatical in Leipzig is told through the eyes of a retired engineer called Michael Pura. He lives in Bilbao, having lived in Leipzig for a number of years, from sort of the late 1970s to sort of maybe the mid 2000s, with his partner of 40 years, Catherine. So this book takes place in Bilbao on one particular morning, when Michael decides to play two pieces of music at the same time, Schubert's Trout Quintet. And basically the book is an hour of Michael's morning, where we meet him when he's drinking a cup of coffee, and then we leave him when he leaves the kitchen at the end of the day, at the end of the hour or so of that morning. And really the book is a sort of a thread through a series of objects and memories and thoughts on engineering, on people, on time, on space, on landscape, that kind of thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read a very, very short piece from the book, and I hope you enjoy listening to me. I won't stay too long, and then that'll be it. Okay, well, thank you. Okay, yeah. When I first met Catherine, she was completing a doctorate in applied arts, specialising in Chinese-style porcelain production in Dresden during the 1700s, the years of the white gold of Saxony, as she once told me. I knew of porcelain then more so as the material used as the nodes on the top of the electricity poles where the wires carrying the electricity are connected. Porcelain is considered a sort of magic insulating substance in the world of electrical engineering. When I was a teenage boy, I remember a rural electrification scheme linesman sitting astride a newly installed pole along the outer edges of my hometown and screwing one of these skull-sized nodes of porcelain into position onto the upper arm at the top of the pole. I remember looking on for an age one bright afternoon at this single technician hanging from a fabric harness slung around the tip of the pole. I could sense the great weight and density of the smooth white porcelain object in his hand. It was not until years later, while out walking among a row of new poles and pylons installed a few miles southwest of my father's sliver of bogland, that I once again encountered one of these nodes lying nestled in the grass, left behind by some absent-minded electricity supply worker. I looked for some time at the smooth, almost shiny white porcelain object resting in this clump of grass. It occurred to me that perhaps it would be best if I did not pick it up. I thought that by leaving it unmolested, I could preserve my memory of that rural electrification scheme worker sitting astride the crux of the electricity pole those years before, and particularly the way his otherwise robust-looking wrist flopped back under the foreign weight of the smooth, skull-sized thing. I don't know how long I stood peering down at this object, but I do know that while I did, it began to rain gently. The rain fell in broken lines over my shoulders. The drops ruffled the grass before me, splattering onto the surface of the polished porcelain node, it lying like a corpse in a long, left uncovered grave. I'm sure I told Catherine often, during the first few times we stepped out, about my ignorance of decorative porcelain, including this lonely and tactless encounter in that field near my father's sliver of domestic bog, and I'm sure she found my ignorance of decorative porcelain and my knowledge of porcelain as a material of good electrical resistance amusing. Okay. Well, thank you very much. The book is available and is published by Lilliput Press. So, thank you.
Hey, thanks, Adrian. That was a really lovely idea. I worked on a German building site, so I know all about love on a German building site.
Was there any love?
No,
I don't think so.
No. Okay, Brie, what are you reading at the moment?
So what am I reading? Yeah. I went home, I suppose, over the bank holiday. It's quite strange. Everyone in the shop goes home with their little, bank holiday reads, and I'm here in the shop, actually almost forgetting to do the same myself. So these were the two I chose for myself to read over the bank holiday. So we have Girl, Woman, Other, which I think everyone knows at this stage, Bernardine Evaristo. We've had this book for nearly the whole time we've been open, actually. It came out in hardback last year and we spotted it. It just looked like a fantastic book. It got really good reviews, but nobody was interested in buying it at all. It was hardback, big huge book. Anyway, we almost couldn't sell it. Then, of course, she gets notoriety and we can't keep them on the shelf. And she's also been nominated for another, she won. Actually, I think she won the Women's Prize for Fiction as well as the Booker Prize. So I've started it, I'm a good way through it, and it's absolutely brilliant, as you would imagine. It's easy to read. It's about London. So like you being on a building site, I went to London in 1987. So the story really does resonate with me because it is set in the 1980s in London. So that's a fantastic read. And my other one, my non-fiction one, is The Passage to Europe, How a Continent Became a Union. It's Luc van Middelaar, a Dutch guy. It's been translated into 8 languages and it's fantastic. It's about Europe, and I just love the story of Europe and where it's going, where it's at the moment, where it's going. So that's the book to read. And he's got another one out soon, so that's what I'm up to at the moment.
Okay, nice one, Brie. That was great. Good reads.
Yeah, and there's so much more I want to read. I wish I could read faster, but I can't. Anyway, next up we've got Diarmuid Ferriter, who's a regular visitor to this area, and we do know him over the years, some different bits and pieces. So he was passing by on a rainy day and we managed to get him to come in and sign some books and just tell us what he's up to at the moment. These are his 2 books that we stock: The Border, which has been read by many people, and On the Edge, about Ireland's offshore islands, which of course in Mayo we have a lot of, so we're interested. And he's writing another book about the Civil War. So over to Diarmuid, who'll tell us a little bit more. Hi Diarmuid, welcome to Tertulia. We kidnapped you while you were having your lunch.
Well, it is raining, so that's okay, we don't mind.
It's raining. Diarmuid's just signed some of his books, The Border, and also we do stock The Edge as well, which will be coming during the week. So yeah, just how are things going? You've been working on your next book, or?
I'm working on the Civil War now. Obviously, there's an awful lot of focus at the moment on the centenary of our various struggles like 100 years ago. So it's a very interesting time coming to the 100th anniversary of the foundation of the state. This is a very difficult and lovely work. There's a lot of tough questions we have to confront about the Civil War now. That's the project for the next year or so. And I think we're ready to look at some of the darker sides of that now. We have certainly a lot more information about it.
Well, you're gonna provide some of that too. I hope so. I hope you're right on that, Diarmuid. Yeah, I did my Leaving Cert project was 1922, the Irish Free State, I remember. Yeah, so yeah, it is interesting times. Yeah.
Oh, it is. And I mean, we're here the day after John Dewey died as well, which brought an awful lot of focus again on the civil rights movement and what was going on about 50 years ago, and the long road to a relative peace. And obviously working on the border over the last year with Brexit and everything, it's remarkable how these historical events clash with current affairs, so we're constantly being challenged, I suppose, to look at the long evolution of particular problems and the divisions on the island, which are still, though not as potent, they still dominate current affairs.
They're still there, yeah, it's true. Okay, well Diarmuid, I'll leave you go, and thanks so much for coming in, and we look forward to reading these books and your new book when it comes out.
It's a great bookshop here, it's a great edition.
Thank you. Thanks for giving us some time out of your holiday on a rainy day. And thanks to Grace and to Adrian for contributing to the show. We've got lots of other authors who popped in and who have sent us their videos about their books, so we'll be posting some more. So thank you everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.